Good old Dodge, what have you done this time? No, I'm just joking. I actually really like what they've done with this new Dodge Charger Daytona SRT concept. Their electric muscle car, their full EV. Once again, this is a concept car. This is not the full production variant, but this seems very close to being a production car based on the design, the interior, etc. Again, they're probably going to dumb a few things down, like the lights, probably different wheel options, and a slightly more basic interior space, but this gives us a good idea. I've always loved Challengers in particular. I thought they've always had a phenomenal design, and it's not just that. They are affordable muscle cars, scat packs, base models around 45 grand, Hellcats 70, 80 grand. They always leased out pretty well. Financing wasn't too bad. You could even save up cash and buy it outright if you wanted to. So that's one of the main things that made me fall in love with Dodge, along with their design, their swagger, because they are pretty much the only one out of the American trio that has kept that muscle car boxy design, because Mustang and Camaro, they kind of ditched that design. They kind of went for that more Euro-esque sports car design, which is totally fine. I still appreciate it. I still love the Camaro in particular. Great driving cars, but regardless, Dodge has always been that cool muscle car brand, and the sales definitely do show. They sell like 100,000 per year of both the Charger and the Challenger. I'm pretty high on this company. However, don't get me wrong, this company does not support me in any way. I don't get any of their press cards. I don't get invited to any of their press events or anything like that. I just give credit where credit is due. And they did something interesting with this Charger. They went back to a two-door design. So initially it was a two-door back in the 60s or whatever. And then they went to a four-door, and now it's back to being a two-door. Very interesting. It's going to come with 3 patent pending features that's going to be exclusive to Dodge. They got this R-wing, aerodynamic inlets for air to pass through, and we have a Fratzonic chambered exhaust. I had a good feeling that Dodge would do this, because we all knew that every company is going to go full EV by 2030. And I figured Dodge would be that company to offer an exhaust on their EV cars. And I have to say, it sounds like garbage. It just sounds like a twin turbocharged V6 spooling up. It's not good. Here, take a listen. They're saying that it's going to be 126 decibels, so it's going to rival the Hellcat in terms of its loudness. So it's going to be exactly the same in terms of how loud it is, 126 decibels, but it doesn't sound good. I thought it would just mimic a V8, but it doesn't. It just sounds very weird. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Kind of a missed opportunity. I'm sure you can turn it off. They're giving this exhaust, and maybe for the production model, they'll enhance it. They'll make it sound a little bit better, maybe closer to a V8 powered car, right? The third patent pending feature is the Erupt system, which is a multi-speed transmission with an electromechanical shifting experience that's pure Dodge, apparently, which they have done a phenomenal job with their current 8-speed ZF found in the Hellcats, Scat Packs, etc. Their current automatic is incredible, but honestly, I really like the way EVs just have no transmission and it's just seamless power, never-ending power. I do like that, but I'm sure this is going to be a pretty cool, more traditional feel, and that's kind of what they want. They want their design to harken back to the 60s with the original Chargers. That's why it has things like the R-wing on it. It's a homage to the original Charger Daytona design. It's supposed to allow air to flow through the front opening. It enhances downforce, and there's a lot of carbon fiber throughout the exterior and the interior of this car, and this is supposed to be the most aerodynamic kind of muscle car that they have ever produced. And the wheels also resemble that, especially on this concept car. It's got these 21-inch wheels, which do look extremely cool. But both in the front and the rear, the headlights and taillights, they went with that whole one-bar design, very elegant, very simplistic, and I do like it. But the interior, that's the biggest change, honestly, between the current Challengers, Chargers, and this new concept car that they have unveiled here. So they're trying to go for this modern, lightweight, athletic demeanor, and it's going to have this driver-centric cockpit, and you see that with the way they have all of the screens placed in the car. The current generation Charger Challenger, yeah, it has like these big chunky plastic moldings, the big massive steering wheel. So they're trying to kind of go away from that. Now you're going to see a lot of cool lights and everything going on. Yeah, that's not going to happen. It's going to have some type of ambient lighting, I'm sure, but it's not going to be as crazy as it is on this concept car that they're showing here. But the vehicle is going to come with a 12.3-inch center infotainment display, which is the largest screen featured in the Dodge product. Regardless, many manufacturers have been offering a 12.3-inch display like Lexus and a lot of the other European brands. They're also offering a 16-inch curved display for the gauge cluster. However, I wish they would have just connected all of the screens. You know, the Mercedes products, even Genesis now, right? It's kind of one big panel. They didn't do that, kind of a missed opportunity. But regardless, the screens look good, should be high quality, and Stellantis has always had a fantastic infotainment that's easy to use, easy to understand. And we're also going to have an 8x3-inch heads-up display. But most importantly, there is a ton of space in the back. You have a hatchback in the rear, you have an airy open space, you can fold down the seats. There's just a ton of space. I mean, even the current generation Challenger, the trunk is massive. I think the Challenger trunk is bigger than the trunk found in the Charger. So yeah, Dodge has always been making these practical cars, but I think it's going to be even more so because now there's no transmission tunnel. So that's another benefit. It's going to add a lot of space. However, my only concern is they are using a lot of carbon fiber, especially for this concept car. I'm assuming what they're showing here, this SRT Daytona, it could be their top of the line car similar to the Hellcat. But again, we're not sure about the hierarchy of their Dodge products moving forward for this EV future. That's just my assumption based on the little logo they have on the side of the car. It's very reminiscent of the Hellcat logo. That placement of it anyway. But yeah, using a lot of carbon, I mean, by the looks of it, this looks like a six-figure car, and I hope it doesn't cost that much. I hope they can keep it around 60-70 grand for their top level model, similar to the Hellcats, and maybe some lesser models that cost around 40-50 grand as well, similar to what they have going on right now with the RTs and the Scat Packs. And because it's an EV, I'm sure there's some type of federal tax credit that you can get, but regardless, I want this car to be affordable for people. That's what helped them sell so many units year after year. But I get it, they're offering a lot of new features, and obviously there's not going to be any fuel use. The car can be a little bit more expensive than what the current Challengers and Chargers cost. I'm okay with that. I just hope they don't go off the deep end with the price, because there isn't a fuel charge associated with this car anymore, because there's no engine obviously. With the monthly payments for people leasing and financing, I still want that to be somewhat obtainable. But they are offering some other cool features like a panoramic glass sunroof, which again adds to that open air type feel. It's cool. It's a nice car. It's different. It's still retro, which I appreciate them for doing. But there is one other concern that I hope they address, and I think they will, and that's the safety of it. And I mean a crash test safety, because according to IIHS, between the Mustang, Camaro, and the Challenger is the least safe car despite being the biggest and the heaviest compared to the Mustang and the Camaro. So that's very unfortunate, because the Challenger is my favorite out of that trio. Surprisingly, the Camaro is the safest, despite it being the kind of the smallest and being super low slung. It did the best, I think, in the driver's side overlap test. EVs tend to be pretty safe, so I'm guessing this Challenger is going to be leaps and bounds ahead of the current Challengers and Chargers in terms of its crash test safety, but again, we'll have to see in the future. But yeah, personally, this is definitely a car that I would rock. I really like this. It's still got that swagger that I've always appreciated with Dodge. I just wish they would fix that exhaust sound, or whatever the hell that electric sound is that they have produced. It's loud as hell. It's like putting a soda can exhaust on like a 4-cylinder car, right? It doesn't sound good. I hope they engineer it to make it sound closer to a V8. But a company like Dodge could have genuinely kept the V8 around a little bit longer by producing a plug-in hybrid. So you could have had the best of both worlds. You could have had the plug-in hybrid that maybe ran like 30 miles on a charge, and the car could have started up quiet, not annoy any neighbors. But once you switch a dial, put into sport mode, you could experience a naturally aspirated or even a supercharged V8 if you so choose. So you could have had the performance, the sound, the speed, and the efficiency. And I feel like one of the few companies that might do that will be Porsche with the 911, because I just don't see the regular car companies like Ford, Chevy, Dodge with their Challenger, Mustang, and Camaro, I don't see them producing a plug-in hybrid variant. The Charger and the Challenger, they're trend-setting type of vehicles. So when Dodge goes full EV, that's going to be the cool thing, and it's going to be very much accepted, if you will, by the car community, I guess. Anyway, this is a first look at this Dodge Charger Daytona SRT concept. I'm going to make another video on the Hornet that they released as well, but let me know your thoughts on Dodge and their move to full EVs. They have no choice. Every company is going full EV by 2030. But in the meantime, on the end screen here, I'm going to have my link to the Tesla Model S Plaid review that I did. So check out that video to get my thoughts on EVs and performance EVs.